Well, hello. Can you see the garden even? I don't know. Well, because we have some plants that bloom. They're blooming. They're blooming plants. There you go. You can see. And the trees blooming back there. We have a purple. Then we have a pink. Down here we have you can see the yellow ones and some pink and white. Anyway, they got the blooming garden. These are starting to bloom too. But it looks like Trump's overseas right now, um, selling arms or whatever. And with that Blackwater was sort of a big humiliation. Uh, they were sort of disgusting guys. I think they were the ones that were involved with the dancing boys. They was raping these young Muslim boys. Um, we have a perfectly good Army, Navy, Marines, uh, etc. With the United States, that we don't need to have no private uh, uh, come in there and undermine our security. Anyway, Trump to me is embarrassing. Um, it looks like um, the most important thing to do is probably vote the Republicans out of office, for the simple fact that uh, they endorsed this man. This man, it seems like um, he's violated uh, the Constitution, the 25th, I believe, Amendment of the Constitution that deals strictly with the president um, and the bylaws of what's expected and the procedures of the president. He's not doing any of that. Um, he's, excuse me, can't be debriefed because he can't be trusted. Did he go to Canada? Did he go to Mexico? Did he go to any of those people that he needed to go to that are right next our freaking back door? Instead, I think that Russia wants the United States to have some type of civil war because Russia's not happy unless they're in a freaking war because they make money out of war, and that's the first thing he goes to Saudi Arabia and sells war toys to them. So, we have a president that can't comprehend his ass from a hole in the ground, apparently. He talks out of both sides of his face, a forked tongue, the double binding a hypocrite. Um, uh, and I think that, what I'm saying, that the people that are in NATO, the people that are been our allies, and he's I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what game he's playing. I think he's been getting money from Russia, even though indirectly or whatnot. And anyway, so it's not. It's rude not to. But anyway, so he and his people are really involved. So and I guess the Manda, I believe that's one of the things that they messed up where they're supposed to uh, um either get rid of his business or put it in a blind trust, but he didn't see fit to do that. He's been skirting the law because most of his crimes have been white collar crimes, and that's something that the Justice Department handles, not the police department. He had policemen up there, and he knew how to scratch their backs or whatever, because their agenda with the policemen. But see, he's not dealing with the policemen. He's on another level because now he's the president of the United States, and what is his violations to the Constitution, to the civil rights, with the Muslim ban. It has a lot to do with our Constitution, freedom of religion, people that came here because they were persecuted for religion. Um, and that is what he's doing. The tyranny of the whole situation, and the inhumanity, and the ignorance. Um, I think it's really putting the United States in a dangerous area. And I think that one of the things that he's not recognizing and he can't comprehend, and I don't think any of the Republicans can, or Pence can, or anything else, the number one problem and how Russia spies have destroyed the United States is through the school system, through what our food system, our children eat, causes obesity, and through the airways. Um, and you could see it in some of Trump's so-called supporters that were willing to elbow and spit and do all this stuff, and they think they're white supremacists. But I'm here to say that um, that for China and for Russia, especially China, to use the racial division and hate and the ignorance and what a lot of white folks don't comprehend about their own history, which makes it easier to be used against them. And you can see South Korea is acting out by here they are testing another bomb, and here today we have overcast. I don't know if that was a nuclear bomb they tested. I don't know what type of games they're playing. I don't know uh, uh, what their outcome is. I don't think that Trump realized that these are not his friends and their enemies. So who knows? They might just kill the bitch while he's over there just for giggles. You know what I'm saying? And they probably gave him a necklace that's got a camera and a microphone on it, so they can be listening and looking at everything. They probably figure he'll be wearing it all around his house or some shit. Anyway, I think that if we don't impeach Trump, um, one of the things is that uh, uh, black people, people with melons, African Americans, whatever we want to call, or whatever the septic term, that doesn't hurt uh, the blacks' emotion, because we are recovering from a lot of trauma from Jim Crow, from a lot of other propagandas, and a lot of it's just lies and didn't make any logic to our soul, and we tried to make it logic, or and one of the things is they do attack children, they do want to get them young, and so far, everything that Trump has done is done in the best interest of the United States, and therefore he's violated his inauguration oath. So I think uh, that it would behoove the Republicans to think about who the fuck do they think they have running this country, and is it in their best interest? It might be in some corporation's best interest. It might be in Russia's best interest. China don't care because we got to buy their, we're buying their stuff as far as they're concerned, regardless, because we don't have anybody here that's going to manufacture anything, you know. And once I found out, like this one bitch, I'm like, she didn't finish high school. She like 30 something years old, almost fucking 40 years old, and she's gonna just not getting her GED. I'm like, why? Anyway. And here the police department, like, they waiver such thing to where they could have people that join the police department that didn't graduate from high school, but there's the propaganda with the whooping the kids that causes post trauma. It could cause psychotic type of behavior when they come to teenagers, schizoid, um, other mental problems to arise, especially if you have neglect, like physical, sexual abuse, rape, child, and a lot of these things because they are children. Uh, uh, it's overlooked, and you can see it with a lot of these pedophiles that was in the priesthood or religious folks or Mormons, how they got away with it for so long. And I think that's the problem is that instead of making our children our number one and seeing them as our future, seeing the ones that if we get reincarnated, if we come back, we will come back. And you could see nowadays through like from the DNA that we trace our the history and our ancestry back that I come from people that believe that you will be born again in your next generation. That's why you go forth and multiply. And since we have those messages mixed up, maybe intentionally or not intentionally, that we have more promiscuous and um, and evil, devious, um, self-gratifying type of society, it turns out to be very violent because of childhood trauma, and it's more acceptable. Like we have wars all the time. You know, prostitution even. Anyway, I think that we're gonna see that if we have to impeach Trump, it's pretty obvious um, so far that this man's doesn't have the best interest, and his children is just as ignorant and just as hateful and just as double-minded hypocrite, two-faced, bullshit artists that hurt people. You know what I'm saying? And who cares if hurt people hurt people? You know what I'm saying? The only way to stop this fool is to continue to investigate uh, the money trail.